you see a lot of individuals that are in emotional turmoil.
IQ plus EQ equals a smarter educator. What we're hoping to do here in Beaufort County is lead our district as well as the state and maybe even the country in helping all of our educators and staff understand the importance of knowing how to respond, knowing when to respond, knowing how to provide resources or gain access to resources that are going to help us be better advocates and educators for children.
Emotional intelligence, how well we are able to manage our emotions as well as the emotions of others so that they work for us and not against us.
Today we have 5 breakout sessions as well as 1 keynote speaker, Mr. Dennis McKeezy. Many of those that are here today have heard of Mr. McKeezy from the hit movie Waiting on Superman. Mr. McKeezy was one of the featured principals in the New York City Empowerment Zone. He was actually inspirational as well as responsible for turning around a high poverty, low educational achievement school.
And I struggled with it, with the fact that we as adults are asked to teach something that we may not totally believe in or totally understand.
Empathy is the most important aspect of social emotional learning as well as emotional intelligence, that you want to be able to understand why those behaviors exist in children. You want to be able to understand why things that, those behaviors exist in parents. So the most important aspect I want them to take away is that empathy is probably the key to solving most of these problems.
Our sessions today are all geared towards helping our staff become better aware of what the signs and symptoms may be for students and maybe even adults that have suffered some type of trauma.
We live in a history of over 500 years where differences have been used to separate us.
We're going to be talking about the transformative power of stories, especially stories around race. And we think it's vitally important because of the history in America, especially if you look at what's going on in our society today.
We want our staff to be well prepared, not only in the sense of knowledge preparedness, but also in a sense of being resource ready.
Trust-based relational intervention. It's a non-treatment modality and a way to interact with children from hard places. It's a toolkit, basically, on how to deal with children who are showing problematic behaviors and how to realize and create empathy in professionals about their brain and how it is different than most other children's brains and how they're not prepared to learn until you make meaningful connections with them.
My hope is that you will take what I say to you and go and investigate it further.
I plan to use the information I learned in the IQ-EQ session to further develop my students' emotional intelligence, help them understand how their brain relates to the feelings in their body and how they can turn that into handling their emotions and reaching their potential.
Well, we just left the session dealing with child abuse and neglect. She went over a program that hopefully we'll have the opportunity to bring to our school to give us a little bit more insight of making those connections with our children, realizing that there's so many other factors that play a role with them even just coming to school before they even get into our buildings, that we need to be more open-minded to it. There's reasoning behind the behaviors that are occurring in our classroom and how to approach them in different ways.
This is something that we're not looking to just start and stop. This is something that we're hoping to continue throughout the years to come, because as you know, trauma doesn't stop on today. Trauma continues each and every day. We just want to make sure that we're the best prepared staff in America to help our kids.
You are a superhero in my eyes, but most importantly in the eyes of young people.